Good day, everyone. Today we will again discuss essential topics about introduction to the philosophy of the human person. And we will actually review and discuss the learning activity sheet as provided by DepEd to the students in the senior high school. So if you're ready, then let's get it on. Welcome everyone to my channel. My name is Mon, Sir Mon. Okay, let's move on. Our previous competencies are about noticing things that are not in their proper places and organizing them in an aesthetic way, and showing that care for the environment contributes to well-being and sustainable development. Okay? This week, our competencies will be for you to be able to evaluate and exercise prudence in choices, realize that choices have consequences, something are given up while others are obtained in making choices, and showing situations that demonstrate freedom of choice and the consequences of their choices. Okay, let's move on. The Bible says, and I quote, "Now the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom." 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 17. What comes to your mind when you hear the word freedom? Is it absolute, conditional, given, acquired? So many questions to ask. Okay? So let's move on. Hopefully we can answer all of them. The human person by nature is a free being, and that it is in his or her nature to seek freedom. Perhaps this is in connection to man's free will concept that we discussed last week. An important indication of human freedom is the ability to make choices and perform actions. Our freedom to act sets us apart from other beings in this wide world. Okay? The human person does not experience the world in the same way that animals do. Animals act instinctively, meaning their actions are more like predetermined responses to certain stimuli. A person, on the other hand, can choose the course of action to take when given stimulus or faced with certain situation. This is so because humans do not necessarily follow a set pattern or a predetermined course. Okay? Freedom is the power to be what you want to be and the ability to decide and create yourself. It is rooted in the human person's self-determination and the exercise of intellect and free will. Okay? Freedom is exercised through man's choices. Let's move on. According to the existentialism philosophy, a person becomes real if he or she can exercise freedom. So, think about that. Freedom permeates every aspect of the human condition. According to Jean-Paul Sartre, a famous philosopher, existence is freedom. Existentialism is a form of philosophical inquiry that explores the nature of experience by emphasizing experience of the human subject. Not merely the thinking subject, but the acting, feeling, living human individual. Now, there are two types of freedom: circumstantial freedom, okay, and metaphysical freedom. Circumstantial freedom is the liberty to accomplish an action without interference from obstacles. Wow! You can do what you want. Metaphysical freedom, on the other hand, is the power to choose among genuine choices. Genuine choices refers to alternatives that are independent of prior causal factors. So if you're given choices, your ability to choose one among the many, we're talking of metaphysical freedom. Okay? Now, human persons are naturally free, and freedom enables us to make our own identity and perform free actions. We should keep in mind, however, that our freedom should be exercised in a responsible manner, since our decisions and actions have consequences. We must use our freedom in a way that is beneficial not only to ourselves, but also to other persons. Okay? Now comes the concept of moral responsibility. In philosophy, moral responsibility is the status of morally deserving praise, blame, reward, or punishment for an act or omission performed or neglected in accordance with one's moral obligation. Remember the prayer. Remember your religious teachings. Okay? The two kinds of sins, sins of commission and sins of omission. The study of ethics emerged in Greek philosophy through Socrates, as relayed by Plato. But it is Aristotle who is actually able to analyze moral responsibility through his theory of knowledge and the conceptual distinctions between the voluntary, choice, deliberation, and wish. Okay? Let's expound on that. For Plato, the issue of moral responsibility primarily arises as a result of the investigations into the connection between knowledge, desire, and right action. His discussions generally center around whether those who desire evil do so knowingly or due to ignorance or error. Okay, let's proceed. Socrates gives a more complete proof that no one could really not knowledgeably seek evil. Nobody knowledgeably seek evil. If indeed all evil is the result of ignorance or error, then the proper course of action would be to take the evildoer aside privately for instruction and reproof, so that she or he may understand what the proper course of action is. That's from Plato in the book Apology. Okay? Aristotle's view of moral responsibility is similar to Plato's, that it concentrates on the role of knowledge in taking the proper course of action, knowing it. Okay? But Aristotle's account is much more powerful than Plato's, primarily due to the conceptual distinction that Aristotle makes throughout his philosophical writings. Okay, let's move on. Aristotle's moral responsibility when it comes to evil doing is anchored on the concept of voluntary or involuntary actions. One who commits voluntary evil is immoral and is committing the immoral act. Seeing a man drowning and pulling him out of the water in order to save him is voluntary action. Even a thirsty animal's movement towards water is voluntary. However, giving up your wallet to an armed thief or stepping on someone's foot because you were unaware of their presence are involuntary. Take note of those, huh? Now, there are three views of freedom, or three views on freedom and moral responsibility. The first one is libertarianism, which believes that human actions are freely chosen and man has a metaphysical freedom and therefore morally responsible. Hard determinism believes that all events are caused by past events, such as nothing other than what does occur could occur. Okay? Parang kasalanan mo na kung bumagsak ka dahil hindi ka nag-aral. Got it? Okay, the last one is compatibilism. Compatibilism or compatible. Believes that free will and determinism are compatible, and it is possible to believe in both without being logically inconsistent. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Gusto mong maging honor, maging determinado ka, okay? At using your free will to do everything to become one, you will become one. Okay? Activity sheets, as usual, are given to all students. Your activities will release awareness of your existence, okay, side by side, your knowledge of freedom, okay? You are expected to work on the activities independently and to return them before prescribed deadline. Okay? Bring out the philosopher in you and see you all next session. You can do your activities through our online links. Just watch out for more announcements in our online class. Keep safe, everyone.